All right, welcome. Let's try to make this brief. Today's the 2nd January 2024, and only thing I gotta say is this. Really feels like I think it's proven. One, war on drugs is not just a joke, but it's completely ineffective, and it probably does more harm than good. Number two, trying to help people with opioid problems is almost a joke. It's completely does not work. Okay, I've been on medication-assisted treatment for opioids because a little while back, I think it was like 2007 maybe, or I don't remember when. 2007 when I stopped drinking. So about 2010 when I started, experimenting with oxycodone, and then started taking it, and it helped because I did a lot of physical labor at a time, and it actually helped me with the little bit of pains that I had at that moment, and it helped me, to work faster. And then eventually I got a couple more accidents, and the pain was even worse. Nonetheless, two of my best friends died, and unfortunately, there was a company, I think it's like, and it starts with an M. I forget the exact name.
According to Google, it's Reckitt Beckinsale.
They had a monopoly on a medication which was allegedly better than the original medication because it had an added ingredient, but they charged an arm and a leg. So in other words, what you would pay for 1 week's worth of prescription, you could essentially pay, it would cost less for a month, depending on where you go.
A month of the original Subutex.
So now, it's easier for kids to get cigarettes, to get marijuana. Well, it's easier for them to get marijuana, which is an illegal substance. It's been proven, okay? So that's another reason why the war on drugs is a joke. And number two, it's easier to get illegal substances off the streets than it is to try to get yourself enrolled in a program that's going to help you get off of that. And I'll tell you why right now. To get into that program, you have no insurance. You got to pay out of pocket. It can cost anywhere between like $175, $200, all the way up to like $400. Okay? I've been on the program since 13th of July of 2018. Had no problem filling my medications. But here and there, some pharmacies don't fill it because they don't want to fill opioids. Even though the opioid that I fill is a level 3. I mean, yeah, it's not a level 2, which is like the strongest of drugs. It's a level 3. So I went to my doctor's last week, and then I knew I had to wait till today to fill. So it was early in the morning. I figured, let me try a place that I didn't go to last month, because the month before they said I was gonna have to wait a certain amount of time. And approximately a year ago, when I was patient and I was waiting, they made me wait for so long. I ran out of medications, and then the last thing that the pharmacist told me was, well, just take it somewhere else. She wouldn't fill it. But yet, a year prior, she filled it the same day, no problem. But for this time, I don't know what happened. Completely changed her mind. Okay? Keep in mind, I'm in active recovery, and if I don't take my medication, not only will I suffer through, physical withdrawals, but eventually I may have possibly the urge to get something from the streets, which is a lot easier. Okay? Completely easier. It's cheaper, and people are not going to question you if you want to buy, like, are you sure you want to buy this, or I don't feel comfortable selling this to you. No, they're going to sell it to you. Okay? So this morning I called this pharmacy, which is affordable. I'm in between jobs. I'm poor. I have to borrow money. And right now, as you can see, I don't even have a room. I record outside, as always. Anyways, I'm getting a call. I gotta really stop it. Like I just said earlier, that is exactly what the pharmacist said when she looked at my prescription. She just handed it back and said, I don't feel comfortable filling this. And that was after I called an hour prior and spoke to a gentleman. I told him the medication. I gave him my name and my date of birth because it's controlled. And he said, as long as you have the paper, go ahead and come on in. Now, you tell me, it's round trip. We are talking a 17-mile round trip or a $50 Uber. Does that make any sense to you? And now, to many of you, that may not seem like much, but to me, who I am in between jobs, and I am begging all of you viewers to please write a letter to this company that I'm trying to get hired to, every penny counts. And I was trying to go to this particular pharmacy because it is the most affordable one. So the one guy told me that I could, but when I got there, the pharmacist told me that I couldn't. Now, is that right? Let me know, please. Anyway, second part, yeah. See, look. This is where I record. That's my desk right there. And that's just so I don't bother the people that live in the house, because essentially this is not where I live. I'm just here because I promised I'd be looking for a job, which I have been. I made sure my application was up to date today, and I didn't know yesterday was the first. If not, I would have put in my first application. Tomorrow I'll put in a second application. And that's why I'm asking you guys please to write a letter to that address I'm sending you, for them to please to kindly hire me. There's a job that's walking distance, 8-minute walk. So even if it's raining, I can use an umbrella and it won't be so bad. And they offer decent enough benefits that if I do good enough, I might be able to leave something for my daughter. It's not a pension, but it's kind of like, it's a privately owned company. So that, it's owned within the company. So they give stocks to people that work there long enough hours. Nonetheless, I called at 7:13 a.m. this morning, this pharmacy that's far from where I live. So the Uber, you can do it so that they can stop at a certain place and then bring you back. $50 that I didn't have. I could have gotten half a bundle for that. And the problem is that when you're an addict, you don't care where the money comes from. So you go and get it wherever you want. I did not want that. And also, after the medication, like the medicine that was illegal was so expensive, you had to turn to other means, which two of my best friends died from it. But these pharmacists, even though you have a valid prescription, make it so difficult for you to fill it, in spite of the fact that you're in recovery. It's almost like the pharmacists, they don't even care. But anyways, that's my 2 cents for now. Keep it nice and short. Thank you for watching. Not only did my two best friends die, but also a work associate which I knew from when I was a teenager. The most nicest gentleman I've ever known. He was a store manager of where I want to work. And he treated me just like any other person. And it was just a shame that he was not able to find the medication that I take. Because ever since I've taken it, not once have I wanted to take anything illegal. But these pharmacists, it's almost like it's their mission to maybe make me move backwards or digress in my recovery. It's unbelievable. Thank you for your support.